I ranked Mitch Marner ahead of Jack Eichel on a nomination list for Locked On's Top 100 list. We will tell you more about our top 6 VGK players coming up next on this WTF edition of Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Please subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel and check out my Saturday Sports Beat radio show on Odyssey. That's Saturday morning, 8 to 9 a.m. Chris is the owner of Silver State Cards and Sports and the collectibles editor for the Hockey News. Coming up ahead, we're going to talk about which VGK players could make it to the league's top 100 list on Locked On the entire network. And then also later on, VGK can't give away points. Man, they just sometimes overlooked a lot of the inferior competition, and it's WTF Day. We are brought to you today by Gametime. Download the Gametime app today. Use that promo code LOCKEDONNHL, and you'll get $20 off your first purchase. Chris, so each Locked On host or hosts of each show that, again, is on the network for the NHL had to submit up to 6 or 7 players, ranking the players for each team 1 through 6. And the order that I submitted, oh boy, here we go. Good grief. I had Mitch Marner 1, Jack Eichel 2. Don't throw tomatoes just yet. I'm going to get grief for this, that's for sure. But Marner had more points than Eichel last season. The rationale, I feel that Eichel is a pass-first player, and I think that Marner is an elite finisher. And I don't think it's really a competition because the fans can all vote 1 or 2. On Toronto, Marner might be maybe the third best player. Here in Las Vegas, I think that he's going to be the go-to guy eventually, if not very quickly. And I'd both say that they are tops at their position. It's pretty much a dead heat. In my estimation, we like horse racing, that's for sure. These two interchangeable. I believe in fans will be partial to Eichel. Of course, well, he's been here in Vegas. I think he's the number 1 player. Let's get started there with my controversial pick at number 1.
If my math is right, Eichel 86 goals to Marner's 83 goals over the last 3 seasons. So I don't know about the elite finishing components. The pass first components, I think Marner definitely has more assists in that department than Eichel in the last 3 seasons. 75, 59, and 69 to Eichel, 66, 37, and 39. Now, if we're only looking in a vacuum at the stats, which player is better? Yeah, I think Marner definitely is the better of the 2 players. And people are going to say, well, Jack Eichel is a 200-foot player. Well, Marner was, I think, top 5 in the Selke voting as well, or top 7, if I'm not mistaken.
It's a dead heat. It's a dead heat.
I think we're definitely splitting hairs trying to see which one is better of the 2. If we can only vote one or the other, I would vote Marner as well. And that certainly isn't taking anything away from Jack Eichel and what he's accomplished. And I think the bigger question isn't something else for, the napkin is a lot of people are saying, Vegas can have 2 100-point players next year. And I don't know if the system is going to necessarily allow that to happen. The Golden Knights don't have those elite scorers that you do see on starting with the Toronto Maple Leafs and other teams around the league, but we'll see if other players can step up their goal totals because you have 2 elite pass first players in Eichel and in Marner. But again, we're splitting hairs which one is better. If it's going to come down to stats and just a quick glance, Marner's the better of the 2 players. But if Marner is a 93 on a scale of 100, Eichel is a 92 3/4. Like, it's that close.
I think fans are going to be able to vote for either one of those 2. And I theorize a little bit that, for Marner, When you look back at last season in Toronto, the cast around him was much better, right? And so it enabled him to do more, but also
There's a couple superstars. Was the cast better? I don't know if the cast was better, but there was definitely a few better players. Yes, of course.
yeah, and then he'll pass the puck to those elite players, and of course they're going to finish for him. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's a pretty interesting topic here. And then after Marner and Eichel, I put Mark Stone, who's been overlooked an awful lot lately, based on last season for
He
me.
doesn't play in April and May or March and April.
March and April, that's for sure. I think that he's been overlooked though because he is a point per game player when he's healthy. So that would be my top three: Marner, Eichel, Stone. Then number four, I put Shea Theodore. Fifth, fifth, I put Dorofeev, and sixth, I put Tomas Hertl. And again, fans can vote for the top 100 players on Locked On when the balloting comes out. So they'll put the ranking for each team next to the player that we came up with. But you know what? A lot of fans are going to take issue with this because they keep putting, and we talked about our Mount Rushmore list yesterday, and then the fans went bonkers on X yesterday, and they kept putting William Karlsson's name on there. And is he one of the top 6 players currently for VGK? I'll ask you.
Dorofeev would be the position that you can certainly debate. Dorofeev has had one solid year. I mean, he's had 2 good years, but one certainly coming out party type of year in last year, where William Karlsson has had multiple very good seasons. He's also had some not so good seasons due to injuries and other things. But again, William Karlsson is a once 40 goal scorer and once 30-30 player over the last 8 seasons with some other good statistical seasons in between there. So if we're looking at recency bias, then yeah, Dorofeev was going to go on the list. He's scoring the goals. That's what everyone wants to see. If we're going to go, contributions since, the Golden Knights have been a thing, then obviously Karlsson gets on that list and Dorofeev gets knocked off that list. Hertl probably would go above Dorofeev for me. And I think the race between Stone and Theodore is as close or even closer than the race between Marner and Eichel as far as which one should go. Theodore now, closing in possibly in the league's elite defenseman, ranked number 15 overall on the NHL. However, that ranking would be if there was fans voting on it, who knows? But 15 overall is very solid. I think top 10, top 8 is probably that elite level. And Theodore, I think, Theodore's upside is much higher than Mark Stone's, I think, just comparing at this stage of the career and everything and things like that. And Theodore, unfortunately, had a freak injury last year with the check in the exhibition game. Otherwise, it might have been a lot better.
Yeah, and when you look at Marner and Eichel, they're both right now peak time in their careers, probably both in the top. Would you say they're both in the top 5 at their position?
Oh,
At least
God,
in the top 10.
Is Eichel a top 5 center? Yeah. Is Marner?
He was ranked 5th, right? In the one.
Yeah, I think it was 5th.
Survey we saw, and I think Eichel will be around 5th. I think again they're both.
Marner has got to be a top 3 winger in the league. I can't imagine. I'm trying to think of players above Marner as far as a wing, and when you look at his contributions on both sides of the ice, I mean, Marner could be the best winger in the NHL when the dust settles next season. So, I mean, listen, this is a good thing. The Golden Knights,
it's a good competition. It's a great competition, right? Because that's going to bring out the best in these players. And
we're talking about, is Eichel a top 5 center in the league, and is Marner a top 3 winger in the league? Like, what world are we living in here?
Right, exactly.
But this is. Again, this is where Kelly McCrimmon has identified holes in the VGK lineup, and you need superstars to win Stanley Cups. Stanley Cups plural, as crazy as that sounds. You need superstars. Pietrangelo, a superstar when healthy goes down. Bring in one on the forward side, and they're still looking on. I don't know if Rasmus Anderson is a superstar necessarily, but definitely a solid. Component to the roster that would push someone out who has lesser experience.
Yeah, he'd be a really good complementary piece. No Aiden Hill. I didn't
It
put
would be
Aiden Hill.
a comp. No, Aiden Hill's Aiden Hill's coming up in WTF, and someone's put him on Mount Rushmore. That I got something for that.
Okay. Coming up next, VGK had a habit of playing down to opponents. That's a habit that they need to break. We'll talk about it next, right here on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. We have all been there, logging on early and waiting forever for concert tickets that are going on sale. And live music should be about making memories, not dealing with the stress and strain of ticket shopping. And that's where Gametime does come in. Gametime makes getting concert tickets faster and easier than ever before. Prices actually drop as it gets closer to showtime. And you can save up to 60% off with their killer last minute deals. If you're tired of endless scrolling, trying to find the best deal, then Game Time's Zone Deals, that's the place to check out. Pick the best seats in the section for you, and you're on your way. And have you ever wondered what your view might look like before you buy the tickets? Well, the app shows you the panoramic seat view, which we really like. So there is no surprises at all. And worried about what happens if plans change? Well, the Game Time guarantee has your back with cancellation, protection, and much more. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets for concerts and shows. A lot of shows, a lot of concerts here with Game Time. Check it out. Download the Game Time app today, create the promo account, and then use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account. Use the redeem code LOCKEDONNHL. Locked On NHL, $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. We are back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights from Las Vegas. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting. We appreciate you making us your first listen. And make sure that you tell your friends about our terrific show. And also download the app today. There, go to our YouTube page and download it there. Locked On Golden Knights. The Golden Knights, Chris, had a habit of playing down to inferior opponents this past season. And they had, 22, I guess, losses for the VGK. And they had some clunkers along the way. Some, of course, attributed to the scheduling and wearing down and 3 games in 4 nights or what have you. But when you look back, I mean, they had some losses to teams like the Islanders, the Sabres, the Flames, my Rangers, the Blue Jackets, right? Teams that were not in playoff contention. And so this is a habit that they definitely need to break. Do they think that they're much better? And do they start toying around with opponents? Or what do you think the mindset is and why they play down to a lot of opponents? And this is something that has been in their DNA a little bit in the past, and not just this past season.
Blue Jackets were a tough out last year, number one, and definitely a playoff team or flirting with it for a lot of the season. But outside of that, there's about 5 games. I just looked at the schedule last year where the Golden Knights, I think, left something on the table. There was 4 outright losses, and then the Golden Knights letting the Buffalo Sabres walk away with 2 points via an overtime victory. I think it was a shootout, actually.
Shootout, yeah.
It's going to happen, but these are things that can be a big difference maker. I mean, you hope the Golden Knights are contending for a division and one of the top spots overall in the Western Conference. That's obviously the goal coming into the season. And these 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points that we're talking about certainly matter a lot. And you can argue that the Golden Knights play down to their competition in the Minnesota Wild series. I'm not going to go that far. Wild were a pretty good team. People seem to forget this. But just looking at some of the games here, taking kind of like a walk down memory lane, even an overtime loss to the Kraken on November the 8th, that's the type of game. You look at what Seattle turned out to be last year. That's a painful one right there. I know it was the back end of a home back-to-back coming off a big win against the Winnipeg Jets the night before, but a 6-0 loss to Utah at home. I mean, Utah is just a weird team for the Golden Knights when they come to Vegas on a Saturday night. I don't know what this is, but it happened the previous season as the Arizona Coyotes. They did the same thing. They came to T-Mobile and shut them out on a Saturday nights. The New Year's Eve loss to Montreal. I mean, it was a 3-2 game, but still, that's a game you'd like them to have. You look at the Rangers Islanders game. You mentioned that the Islanders 4-0 loss bothers me a lot more than the Rangers 2-1 loss, because the Rangers at that time were at least kind of still in the mix. Losing 5-3 to Nashville, okay, you got the March or so effect, but still, the Blackhawks in the same week, or at least within 4 days of each other, not at least getting a point there. These are just some of the games here. You look at the schedule, like, man, how do they, again, the Buffalo Sabres game, yes, it's only 1 point, but that's something you don't want to see happen. And then that's really it for me as far as games when you're like, okay, this shouldn't have happened. But I just mentioned somewhere between, call it 3 and 7 points that the Golden Knights could have had last year. Thankfully, they were still a Pacific Division winning team. And it didn't really play out much as far as the playoffs win, but that could matter a lot more next year if whether the Golden Knights are lower in the standings, which I doubt it's going to happen, or if they do look to make a deep run. You got to have that home ice. I think it's pretty important.
And that VGK loss to Utah 6-0, that was their worst loss of the season. 6 goals. They lost.
Dynamite take, 6-0. Worst loss of the season. Good job, bro.
Why play down to opponents? What's going to change now? Will this culture be better with Marner, with different pieces? What's going to change? What will change here so that they don't overlook a lot of these opponents?
Probably nothing, and that's not saying anything negative. It's an 82-game season, and bad teams beat good teams all the time. It's the parity of the NHL can never be overlooked. A lot like the NFL, any given Sunday, anyone can win a game, even the Raiders. So, it's kind of the same thing in hockey. A team like Utah, who's a good team, not a playoff team last year, but they were a good team. They had a good game, advantageous situation. Golden Knights off a back-to-back, kind of like the trap game, so to speak. I'm sure I talked about that if I went back through my timeline. You would like the Golden Knights to clean up a little bit, but again, Coach Cassidy, at some point, especially when things are going better, we're going to hear it's not a perfect team. We're an imperfect team, and things aren't necessarily always going to go their way. Does a new player in Mitch Marner, possibly change that a little bit, and the team steps up a little bit? Of course, that can certainly help things a little bit, but generally speaking, I don't think any team is going to, the floor, starting with the Panthers and the Oilers and, the class teams of the NHL as far as success goes. I don't think any team you can go through an 82-game schedule and say, yep, we got all the points that we needed to get. And on the flip side, there's going to be some games on the schedule. It all kind of evens out where there's some games on the schedule where you steal a point because you get that last second goal and tie the game up, or you wind up stealing 2 points and things like that. You win games that you weren't necessarily supposed to. So I think it all kind of evens out. It just doesn't look pretty when you're dropping games to Utah and, the Islanders and stuff like that.
I'm going to quote you, Golick. I'm going to quote you. You said that VGK got bored last year, and thus they started to goof off.
Absolutely.
I wanted to remember. I don't know if this was in my sleep or whatever, but did Eichel try a Michigan goal against San Jose? Did someone on VGK try the lacrosse goal? Why am I forgetting?
I don't know if this was last year or the year before, but this actually triggered something when me and Chris went to that controversial game in Arizona at that college barn when the Golden Knights gave up like 6 or 5 goals in the third period. But there was one play where the Golden Knights had like a 2-goal lead in that game. And one of the players, I don't know if it was Martinez or Eichel, someone tried to just make this kind of, I think it was Eichel. He tried to make a razzle-dazzle, Paul Cotter-esque dangle between the legs type of move that led to a very quick turnover. I don't know if Arizona came down and scored, but Chris right away, like, why are they doing that? Just dump the puck deep and,
they do.
make, do the little things right. I mean, again, I'm no Coach Cassidy, but when I'm talking to the kids at the youth level, it's about doing the smallest of plays and just getting pucks deep and going to work instead of turnovers in sensitive areas of the ice. So, yeah, I do think at times the Golden Knights got a little bored, a little complacent last year. But again, that's every team. And I don't know if it was last year Eichel went for the Michigan or the year before, but someone did go for it.
Okay.
Leave that like Dorofiev or something. What if Marner gets a Michigan game 1? Then what happens?
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
What if he gets a Michigan in Toronto?
Goofing around again, Hurdle with the empty net opportunity in Buffalo and the big turnover for the turtle, looking for Eichel,
That was bad.
gets the puck taken away. So yeah, they
You
have
can
to
have a
be.
learning moment, whether you're a professional at age 30 or a kid playing a random Thursday night house game.
They just need to have that laser focus, even against teams that are not playoff contenders. That's what we're getting
Got to be
at. Coming up next,
professional 100% of the time.
it's WTF Day, long anticipated. We'll get to that as we return on Locked On Golden Knights. Mark August the 26th on your calendar. Why? Because it is officially FanDuel Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions
This is fun.
and preseason hunches.
Ooh, I like
For
this.
just 24 hours, not 25 like VGK, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL predictions. So whether you're calling for your MVP, if you are eyeing a long shot divisional winner, or you're ready to crown your Super Bowl champion before week one even kicks off, this is your moment. I wasn't prepared to name, like, you could take a flyer on the MVP race, and I'm sure we'll have to do this read again. And so we could pick out our MVPs. Again, you can crown your champion in the month of August. Who's your pick to win the Super Bowl? Not KC. Or you can parlay your division winner dark horses. How about that?
This is
Visit
fun.
the FanDuel app today. Start planning your future bets right now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only at FanDuel. Play your game. Go to FanDuel.com.
I was into the read. I was just like listening to you. I wasn't paying attention to the technology side. I wanted more.
Well, I just gave you just a little taste there. Just
That was
go to
good. No, I
FanDuel.com
like
and you'll
that.
get
Future
more.
bets are fun.
Future bets are so much fun. I'm going to the Raider game tomorrow, so that should be fun against San Francisco.
We still have a team in Vegas?
Oh, that's rough. You know, they
have
did
uniforms
yesterday.
and everything. Sorry. Okay.
They had the joint practice yesterday, and the coaches had spoken and everything, and they all get along there, going way back. You know, Shanahan, of course, and Pete Carroll, and they said no shenanigans. There will be no fights. There's going to be no nonsense, because we don't want our players to get hurt. So they just did it on the square in a joint practice, which you never see.
I thought you were going to follow that up with 5 minutes into it. There was a brawl.
That would have been if you or I were playing. With the 25
I'm
hour
playing a late game tonight. I'm playing like at 9 o'clock tonight. Maybe I'll get a little dirty tonight.
Yeah, there you go. The 25-hour open house, VGK missed on a couple of fronts. Well, number one, and you attended. You could tell us about your experience.
Yeah.
They missed out on the pajama party aspect. And then also they showed upstairs at Hyde. Oh, it's just like cooking here. And you just had the drum bots and a DJ. And this it went till 2 a.m. So, okay. And then number two, was the ice down?
No.
So here's what I thought they should have done. They should have scheduled beer league games, put down the ice, and let the fans have some fun. WTF, that's a missed opportunity for the Golden Knights. Wouldn't that have been great? Or schedule some games for in that block from 10 to 2 and then go upstairs and have some brews, man. I think it would have been fun.
Number one, I actually love the idea of if they would have had youth games or adult games going during that, but the ice wasn't down. I know there's probably a lot more to that. I mean, it's still August. The ice usually doesn't go down until sometime late August, early September, depending on the circumstances. Could be concerts, events, and obviously it's a costly process to keep it going. But in a vacuum, that would have been cool, or just let them play roller hockey down there.
Yeah, that could have been fun too. They have plenty of time.
It would have been on cement, which is kind of weird, but whatever. But I'll back up the open house, and yes, the pajama party, that was a miss. That actually would have been a great idea. I thought that was really cool.
I'm a marketing guy, allegedly.
What's that?
I'm allegedly a marketing guy. Allegedly.
So on your LinkedIn. So listen, the open house, I had no idea what to expect. We read it, on the air yesterday and talked about it. The concept was cool. It was enough to get me to change my behavior for the night and get out there and go and make the drive from Henderson to the Strip on a Thursday nights. And we had a great time. We walked in, there's a big line. Like, what's this line for? Like, oh, it's the tour. I'm like, okay. So we wind up getting into the locker room. I had no idea they were going to let fans in the locker room. We get to go up to the castle, got to chat up with the PA Bruce Cusick a little bit. It's nice to catch up with him again. And then they took us upstairs to the control room that controls the Nitron and all the graphics and everything, and talking about the goal horn and kind of that process and just seeing all these behind the scenes stuff. I was able to get the kids back up on my former perch at Media Row, and they got to see where I got to experience games from and everything.
The kids went there. The kids went there. Did they allow you to go up there? Were you allowed?
I didn't see my picture up with an X or anything.
You got
so I was
past
able
security. Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, security was lacking a little bit, Dev. It was a game day security. I don't think I would have made it even back into the locker room. But no, it was a nice time. And then I saw there was even a video of Aiden Hill. He was actually there a little before we got there, but we never saw him. I don't know if anything else happened overnight. But long in this ramble here, it was a wonderful event. Nothing but the highest marks for VGK for putting that together. There wasn't even a hard sell for ticket upgrades or switching or anything like that. There was a QR code on random seats that were available for purchase or switch, if you will, from your current location to a new location. And it was really more of a fan hangout, cool experience event versus a sales ploy to get you to buy something. So kudos to VGK, great event, and had a wonderful time with the kids last night.
WTF. We had our VGK Mount Rushmore yesterday, and they had Fleury, Marchessault, Theodore, and Eichel. And we said there could have been some missed opportunities there. Well, Stone, etched in stone. I mean, that would have made some sense, perhaps. But we like all the comments yesterday. This was the Barstool list, right? I liked a lot of the comments, and people were going haywire there about ranking their top four.
Mm-hmm.
One of the names that was interesting that they said was Bill Foley.
Yeah.
Would you put Foley up there on Mount Rushmore? Yes. There's only 4 spots, which I really like because it became real competitive. So many people added Carly. They put Ango
people like
up
Carly,
there.
Tony. Accept that. People like him.
MJJ Bebe
Right by it.
put Jonathan Quick, said that he was robbed. He should have been. He's on probably on Columbus.
There's one name that hasn't come up, and this is something me and Ken love to bring up from Sinbin, but Shipashev. Season 1 legend, played 2 games or something like that, gets a goal and can't handle the smoke of Red Rock walking in and out when he was staying there, and nothing but complain and moan about his time in Vegas. But yeah, put him on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, WTF, I can't handle the smoke either.
Real fast, I'll back that up. Someone said Aiden Hill because he was a key contributor in the Stanley Cup run. All right, now pump the brakes here. Aiden Hill was really good, but it was
really lucky and very.
Of course, you got to be lucky as a goalie, no doubt. We're not taking anything away from him.
He was buried in the goalie rotation. Keep that.
Yeah, and putting him as a Mount Rushmore type, no. Good goalie, did a good job, but Yuri Patera, Stuart Skinner, Calvin Pickard. Dylan Ferguson could have won the Stanley Cup behind that situation because that's how good the team in front was. You need a goalie to make their layups. Aiden Hill did better than that. So credit to Aiden Hill, but he doesn't go on Mount Rushmore. And real fast, WTF for my Chicago White Sox. My buddy Frank sent me this the other day. So White Sox won the World Series 05, 06, whatever it was. And yes, I'm a Southsider, deal with it, Cub fans, but there was a moment where you got Joe Creedy, Aaron Rowan, and AJ Przinsky blackout drunk at a hotel bar in the middle of the season or something like that. You got some, real kind of calm and soothing, jazz pianist doing her thing. And a drunk Aaron Rowan, play some effing Journey. And then, of course, she starts playing Don't Stop Believin'. And that moment, Don't Stop Believin' became the anthem of the White Sox during that season all the way to their victory in the World Series. So WTF, good White Sox story there.
Yeah, I think, on my Mount Rushmore, I'd have to put Kerry Bobolts up there because they didn't put him
great
there.
In the community.
Well, they left him off the cup, bro. I'm still bitter.
Yeah, put him again. We can put him on Rushmore.
One quick one here. Gerard Gallant. We saw that video was exceptional. New head coach for Shanghai.
I want a Shanghai Dragons jersey. I'm going to find one.
The X-ray eyes of Gallant.
Raiden, Mortal Kombat, baby.
Dude, that was unbelievable. Next level for
It
an
was great. It
introduction.
was one of the best hype videos I've ever
I
seen in my
watched it
life.
like 4 or 5 times. I woke up to that the other morning. I was just scrolling there, and that was one of the first things I saw.
It was great.
So we appreciate everyone tuning in, especially our everydayers. It's going to be a great weekend, everyone. Get out there and enjoy it. And of course, we'll be back again on Monday from my man, Chris Golick, Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. We'll see you again Monday right here on Locked On Golden Knights, and please take care.